Hello guys, this is Dragox55 here, and today we are doing a deck recipe on Madolche Monarchs, or better yet known as Madolcharch, I guess you can say. I'm not really sure which one I prefer to call this yet. Anyways, this is a deck, as I said before, that is requested by Sonic Gen 2012. He wanted me to make Monarch Madolches. So, yeah, of course I couldn't fit Monarch Madolches in the deck name, so yeah, we have Madolche Arc or something like that. I don't know. So, let's get started. First off, we have Caius the Shadow Monarch. He's probably one of the best of the Monarchs, I would assume. I don't really know, I haven't really tried out the other ones, but he does pretty well, so I don't really need to switch him out. And basically, tribute summon him, and he can banish one card to do 1000 damage if it's a dark card you banish. It could banish spell, trap, monster, whatever's on the field, so. And he's 2400 attack. Next we have 3 Hootcake. Now the thing is, this is the same engine as the TG Madolches, other than the fact there's no Rush Rhino or Werewolf. So don't be surprised if you see these. It's just this engine is probably like the best engine I could probably come up with for this kind of deck. So yeah. So next 3 Hootcakes. I've gone over it in one of the other deck recipes with TG Madolches. But basically what he does is, well, any Madolche, when they're destroyed, will go back to the deck instead of going to the grave. So, well, they go to the grave and then they would go back to the deck. So any Madolche does that, unless if you have like the field spell or something like that. So anyways, since I got that out of the way again, Hootcake, you banish one in the grave and you special summon a Madolche from your deck. Mostly you're going to summon out Messengelato, so you can get Ticket or Chateau, or even Palooza. But in many cases you could just bring out this to get a rank 3 to bring this out to get this, or if you use MewFeuille to get Hootcake, then you would probably go for Hootcake's effect to get this, and then you make the MK whatever, forget what it's called, to bring out this, or Magileine, what I think you go and bring out this, to be honest, and then you just synchro or XYZ up to Tiaramisu, then you know how it goes. So yeah, pretty much it works out, and even if you can't really get an XYZ out, you can pretty much get like 4000 damage in, or 4100 damage depending on what you bring out. And then you have tribute fodder for the Monarchs. Next we have 3 Magilines. Basically you normal summon her, and then you get to add a Madolche monster. I personally like to add MewFeuille, because then you can special summon this, or even Hootcake to special summon Messengelato. So basically, it's very simple. You use her to bring him. You summon him next turn to summon Hootcake. Hootcake activate effect to get Messengelato. Then you XYZ up. Or if this survived, then sorry about that. If this survived, then XYZ at these two, depending on what the field looks like. Maybe you don't even need to sync or XYZ up, but who knows, depends on your situation. Next we have Messengelato. Basically when special summoned and you have a beast type Madolche monster, you get to add a spell or trap of a Madolche card. So the weird thing is, if you special summon him anyway, you don't get the effect. His effect is if you, well, any way you special summon him is fine, but you have to either have a beast like MewFeuille or whatever it's called, or Hootcake. And usually everyone brings out Messengelato with Hootcake due to the fact that you can search out the field spell or even the ticket, because what you're doing is you're going to use this, get the field spell or get the ticket, then you're going to combine those two to make the card bring out that Tiaramisu activates, then the ticket would activate since you bounce stuff back to the deck, then you can special summon another card, and then you probably bring out another Messengelato or something like that. You know, you'll see. You'll see in some duels with TG Madolches or even with this deck that how the pretty much benefit off of this deck. Another thing is I like to add ticket before I add the field spell, because, well, one, because the field spell puts the stuff back into the deck, and when you do that, you'll have no targets for Tiaramisu, as compared to ticket where it's like, okay, well I have, because you have to detach one, so you detach Mew or Meow, whatever, or you'll detach Hootcake, and then you'll have a target. So I usually like to go for ticket, but a lot of people say go for a Chateau. Just getting that out of the way. And then there's this card. You normal summon it, and you special summon another card, special summon a Madolche. This can count as tribute fodder if you want to tribute. When I say tribute fodder, I mean like Treeborn Frog kind of status, where he's really not there for attacking, but he's mostly there for you to tribute him. So yeah, tribute fodder. Okay, so you bring him out. As I said before, you bring him out. He allows you to special summon a Madolche. You bring out Hootcake. Then Hootcake activates effect to bring out Messengelato, bring out Ticket. Or if you have a field spell, I would go with another field spell. Maybe, I don't know. Depending on what your situation is. Then after you bring him out, you XYZ up into MK, whatever his name is. We'll go into him a little bit. And then you bring out Messengelato again. You XYZ up with both of them to make Tiaramisu. Since Hootcake or Mew, I'll just call it Mew. I don't know why I keep saying the full name. Then you bounce back Mew, or you bounce back Hootcake, and then you pretty much get out, or you bounce back everything. I'm saying though, the best way to benefit off of this is if you go for Ticket instead of the field spell. But, you know, it just depends on the situation. Yeah. So next we have Mobius, the Frost Monarch. I personally like him. I did have 2 Ryazas and 2 Caius. And, you know, I tried 3 Caius and 1 Ryaza. But I never really wanted to summon Ryaza too much, due to the fact that it just bounces the card back. And there's too many decks that are like benefiting off of that because of some things. So I decided to figure out a way to get rid of more back row. And Mobius is pretty much your guy, but we'll go over other things later on. But he's there because he gets rid of back row. So you have 4 Monarchs. I wouldn't say run anymore, due to the fact that, well, they'll clog up your hand, you'll draw into like dead draws or whatever. But I think these 4 are good enough. Mobius isn't too high in count in the deck, so he doesn't slow down the deck. And I seem to get him at the right times if I need to get rid of back row, or Caius if I need to get rid of a monster that's really annoying. So, just so you know. I tried making this deck without TG Striker. Like, I wanted to make it pure Monarch and Madolches, but this deck, or this card is so good that I couldn't pass it up. So basically, you special summon this if you control no monsters and your opponent controls one. He's like Cyber Dragon, except a tuner. And then you special summon him. Then you could go MewFeuille, Messengelato, whatever. Synchro up into Barkion, synchro up into Beast, or even better yet, when we get into the spells, I'll tell you what else you can do. You can probably see it from here, but I'm not gonna go over it yet. Anyway, so yeah, he goes in there, you synchro up with him, you make Beast, like, if you can make a Beast in Barkion, like, first turn, which I know you can't, but if you can make a Beast in Barkion, you're pretty much set, since your opponent will have to rely on monster effects, and, you know, that's pretty dangerous nowadays, but it's not bad at all, since it does lock down your opponent from a lot of other things it can do. The other things that hurt when you do that though is Stellars and Fire Fist can get over stuff like that, I think. No, actually Fire Fist can't. They have to go into their XYZ to actually get rid of Beast and Barkion. So yeah, Stellars are annoying. Anything that bounces back is pretty annoying when you make your synchros, but oh well, it's fine. One Darkhole destroys basically everything that's monster related. One double summon, and also another thing, Darkhole doesn't hurt this deck due to the fact that when they're destroyed anyways, the Madolches, they go back to the deck, so yeah. Also another thing is if you synchro summon or you tribute them or you XYZ them, they don't go back into the deck. It's only if they're destroyed by a certain way, so keep that in mind if you're planning on running this deck, because you probably make that same mistake thinking that they go back when they don't. Which is still fine, because Tiaramisu is needing stuff in the grave and I don't mind it a lot. One double summon lets you conduct normal summon twice. It's kinda weird wording, I guess. So basically you can normal summon or set up to 2 times the turn you activate this card. So activating more of them makes no sense at all. You can add more of them, but it doesn't really help out since it'll cut down your spells and traps. If you want to, you can add another one, but I wouldn't recommend it. But basically what it is that I like to do is I like to bring out him, bring out Mew, bring out Hootcake, yada yada, you get Tiaramisu. Then I like to do double summon, and then I like to get rid of the Earth, MK, whatever his name is, and then bring out Caius, get rid of anything extra, you know, just for the extra 800 attack points, you know, pretty much OTKing your opponent. This deck does OTK, I showed it off during the duel hours, so. 2 Forbidden Lance, just, you know, protect you from spells and traps. Also, they decrease your opponent's attack. 3 Chateau, basically everything gets 500 more attack and defense that's Madolche related. What else is there? Any Madolches that would get sent to the graveyard, or no, would be sent back to the deck, can be added to the hand instead if you want to. And once this card is activated, it's basically like a pot of avarice where it returns all your returns cards to your deck, but mostly just like Exod or whatever his face is. I don't remember what his thing is. Exodius, I think it was. So yeah, that's pretty much all you need to know about that. 2 Ticket. You can play this at 1, you can play it at 2, it doesn't matter. If you're gonna play Ticket at 1, I would play the field spell at 2. Due to the fact that it helps with more consistency in the deck. But I think Ticket at 2 is fine. Especially since you run Scrap Dragon as well in this deck, I think. Right? We put Scrap Dragon? Yeah, okay. So it's pretty good. No? Why? Okay. Anyways, so when a card is sent from the graveyard, field, to the deck or the hand, you can add a Madolche from your deck to your hand. Also, if you control a fairy type, which is Tiaramisu, or the other Madolches that are fairies in the game, then you can special summon the card. But without Angeline, I think it is. Magileine, not Magileine, Angeline? Or Angeli? There it is. I don't remember what the heck I was saying. So, yeah. Then you can pretty much bring out anything and hurry up and finish up your opponent, so. And you can only use this effect once per turn. So. Or you can, yeah. Okay. 2 MST pretty much destroys back row along with Mobius if you can't get into the back row. 1 day apiece to draw a card and take no damage for defensive purpose or just to set up. Duality at 2 lets you reveal 3 and add 1 card to your hand. You cannot special summon and you cannot activate 2 Dualities on the same turn, which is fine because you can summon out this and then you can do double summon and bring out Caius, which is perfectly fine. Duality doesn't slow down the deck. It does only slow down the deck if you have things special summon and nothing a normal summon really. So that's something to keep in mind. Call the Haunted to bring something back. Compulse to bounce something back. Palooza to special summon all of Madolches in your hand. Or any number from your hand. And they get shuffled back into the deck at end phase. So which means it opens up place for Caius, opens up place for Exceeds, but opens up place for Hootcake. Even Messengelato and being summoned with Hootcake will basically set up for a lot of things. 2 Mirror Force, destroy monsters, 1 Solemn to stop summon, and Torrential Tribute to get rid of all the monsters on the field if you can't deal with them at the moment. Alright, and next up we have 1 Catastor, 1 Mistworm, oh sorry, I meant to shut that off a little bit, 1 Barkion, 1 Beast. I always recommend running 2 level 6 and 2 level 5, but I don't know, there's not any level 6 I would run in here. 1 Scrap Dragon, 1 Stardust, what's it called? Void Ogre doesn't work in this deck because there's no darks really. 1 Diamond Dagger, you can get rid of the card. Gunman to finish the duel, or even get over cards that are annoying to get over. Here it is, M-X-Saber Invoker. This basically is like your main thing to get a lot of Messengelatos out. So, yeah. Not too much to say about that, I've gone over it before. Tiaramisu, it returns stuff back to the deck and turns, yeah, pretty much that's basically what it does. 1 Maestroke, just in case. 1 Engineer. If it's attacked, I believe. Or no, you could detach to put this in defense and can't be destroyed by card effects or battle, which is really good because then you contribute for Caius if you want to. He's only 3 Madolches, right? Yeah, okay. Thought so. Yeah, and then Zen mains, because Zen mains is Zen mains. As for the side deck, pretty much the whole Monarch setup, if you, it's like ice cream, I guess you can say. Different flavor popsicles with different flavors of fruit, whatever. You want some Shadow or Dark Monarch if you want to blow up. What does this do? You target out to do. Banish stuff from the graveyard if you prefer that over Caius or even Mobius. depending on what your deck you're battling against, get this to get rid of face downs. Mobius does it a little better, but this can do face down monsters as well. Rayasa to bounce stuff back. I don't even know how to pronounce that, to get stuff in your hand. And Zarbog. And then there's this card if you want to. You can't special summon from the extra deck, but you can basically use tribute summon monsters and they can't be destroyed. So, and they can't be targeted either while this card's on the field. So, you know, pretty good. I don't know if it's as long as this card remains on the field thing. I'm pretty sure, I don't know. I'm pretty sure if it's this, as long as this card's on the field. There's also another Monarch card, which I will show you right now. Which, give me 2 seconds while I look it up. Basically, it searches out the Monarchs. And I had Dark Armed in here as well. But, quite frankly, it didn't do too much. But this is another card you can run if you need more search power for the deck. I really never drew into this card, to be honest, so having it doesn't really benefit me at all. So yeah, and then there's the Mega Monarchs, which you contribute this summon this card by tribute 1 monster. That's what I choose. Alright, I'll just choose cards on it. Yeah, I mean, you could put it in the Mega Monarchs. I haven't really looked into them. Really, considering that the only one that looks like we have is the rock one. But, you know, it's there if you want it. I might look into what the other Mega Monarchs do one of these days. But for now, Mega Monarchs is not in the picture. We can't really benefit off of one, so yeah. Anyways, I hope, or what's it called? So this deck, I think TG Madolche's is a little better than this, but at least this deck is a little more defensive, I would say, and it has a little more option than TG Madolche's instead of just the simple make a Tiaramisu and hope you don't get destroyed kind of thing. So yeah, I definitely give this deck an 8 out of 10. It does benefit off of itself. It doesn't feel like I'm getting dead draws with this. Like, you know, there's only like 1 or 2 duels that out of like 10 that I get a bad draw out of this deck. You're either special summoning crazy or you're doing a Madolche or Monarch thing. So either way, it works. Go ahead and try it out, guys. And that's pretty much it for this deck. There will be videos for the duels, and I will catch you guys later. And outro time. So if you enjoyed the deck, let me know. Leave comments in the section down below. Tell me your thoughts. Did you enjoy the deck? Did you not? What would you change about the deck? Would you keep the same? Would you change up the Monarch lineup and change it for like 2 Rayasas instead of 3 Caius and 1 Mobius? Would you take out Caius altogether and put something else in because maybe you don't like Caius that much? I don't know. It's up to you. Only other thing I have to say is that if you make sure about Caius, because the Monarchs are a mandatory effect, I believe. Oh no, actually, Mobius isn't. But Caius is definitely mandatory, so you have to be careful when summoning him. If there's nothing on the field other than him, he's gonna get banished. So, yep, I will catch you guys next time. Dragox55 signing out. Have a good day.